around. It's something that I just can't understand, the way I behave. Some people you can never save. In my right hand, got a girl on my ear, and on my left hand, throwing back a beer. What can I say? I'll make you see clear.
All right, so what do you want to do?
I guess we need to... Well, what happened to Leon? Did I destroy him?
You destroyed him.
Yeah.
So I guess go to the next door. You guys up for the next door?
Open the doors.
Yes.
Yes.
This limitless blackness like you saw before. This darkness that cannot seem to be pierced by
But now
light.
can we somehow be more mentally fortified against spells, maybe going unaware?
So you're asking me whether if you go through the door, you'll be more mentally fortified?
No.
That would require you to go through the door, wouldn't it?
All right, I'll go through the door.
Yeah, let's go through.
I'm gonna poke my head through first.
Yeah.
Your head comes off. Well, actually, you stick your head through, all you can see is inky blackness. Okay, yeah, but once you step through, all right. Jody, you have stepped through the door. You're sitting in this little cubicle. Your computer's in front of you. You've just watched one of the stock prices that you've been following for a while with one of the mutual funds you're managing really take a tank. So you're like, okay, I'm going to need to move this out of here. The rest of you, as you step through, you're sitting in your chairs in front of your computers, working in the cubicle farm, working on, and on the wall you see, the bull for Morgan Stanley. And so you're all sitting.
Terrence's job.
Yeah, it's Terrence's
so
job.
I think I'm
And so
Terrence's
you're all
guy.
sitting there and you're managing these mutual funds and trying to move money around so people don't lose money and things like that. And also, making sure. And so you're sitting there going, wait a minute, okay, I've got to make sure this works. Yep. So I need everybody, except for the non-magically inclined, to make a discipline check.
I call it a fearless.
Oh.
There you go. That's nice.
Came off the edge. I don't know where I think it went underneath. Oh, I see it. I feel it. Sorry, I don't see it.
I got a 5.
Okay.
AC with me.
8? Oh,
I
you're
got,
good.
I think a 5.
Okay. If you got a 5 or higher,
5.
you're able to shrug off the spell again. You realize you don't work for Morgan Stanley. Okay. Thank God. Yeah. But you're like, well, this is not my beautiful house, and so you're looking kind of around, and this is
And we all see each other and go, okay, good.
this is not here. The rest of you
I
are
don't know
sitting
what any
there.
of these numbers mean.
What does this mean? Your computer just melts down and falls into the floor. Right. The rest of you are sitting there. Let's see.
Actually, probably all the cubicles around me are not working.
Yeah, right. Marissa and Volt, you're sitting there frantically trying to make
That
transactions
is a
to
lie.
try and save these guys money who you're managing these mutual funds for so you don't lose your job. Jody, what are you going to do?
These hedge fund guys are really busting
I'm
my
going
balls,
to
man.
look for the other two. Do I see them?
You do. They are frantically... you see these other two guys there. You also see Terrence sitting at a desk, a very nice desk, not in the cubicle farm. He's kind of at the front of the room. You notice that somebody from one of the girls from the cubicle farm has come up and talked to him, and he's at his computer and he's pointing at the screen and he's talking to her and he says, "Yeah, go do that. Take care of that. That should make sure that they don't lose too much money." And so he's and she goes, "Okay, cool, boss," and heads back to the cubicle farm. And she's like, "You're like, whoa!" He's telling people what to do to kind of manage the losses or something like that. So you're like, wow, okay.
Well, this time I'm going to be smarter. I'm not going to engage Terrence until I counterspell the other people.
Okay.
I think we counterspell her first this time.
Okay.
Because of her schmancy sword.
She doesn't have a fancy sword.
By the way, I'm supposed to have
Okay, so it's +2.
So it's 7.
Okay. You're trying to figure out how to limit the damage from the mutual fund that you're trying to manage. And one of the girls from the other, cubicle over comes over to you and says, "You really don't need to worry about that." Puts her hand on your shoulder, and all of a sudden you realize you really don't need. You're Marissa. You're a Knight of the Cross, and why are you managing mutual funds? And you look around and realize that there's a bunch of people sitting in cubicles, and then you see Terrence sitting up at the front, and a guy has just walked up to him, and Terrence was looking at the printout, and he says, "That's perfect. That's perfect. That's exactly what you need to do. Keep doing that and buy more of that." And the guy goes, "Cool, all right," and heads back to the cubicles working on stuff. And so Terrence is kind of the leader of these folks. He seems pretty, high up in the echelons. All right, anybody else going to do anything?
I'll try to counterspell.
Okay, cool.
Well,
Yeah. All right, you guys are rolling all right.
6.
Okay, that'll get it.
Even. 5.
Even 5. 5 will still do it. You're sitting there trying to figure out how to manage mutual funds. You think you were hired yesterday? And so this guy from the next door's here, let me show you how to do that. Puts his hand on your shoulder, and all of a sudden you go, I don't manage mutual funds. I manage people.
That's right.
That's right. And you're like, I don't know what this is about. You pick up the keyboard and toss it on the desk and stand up. And you see Terrence sitting at the front, and he's just told this guy, keep doing that, keep doing that. And so he's, and the guy's going back, okay, I'll keep doing that. And he's headed back to the cubicle farm. The rest of you notice that the people in the cubicle farm who are not you have that strange inky blackness that Leon and Clara had as well. The glowing red eyes, the undefined kind of shady shadowiness. They don't seem to have noticed you because cubicle farms are really good about keeping you hidden from the other people that are not in your cubicle.
Roughly how many are there?
20 or 30.
That's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of people.
Anybody got a grenade?
Yeah, right, this would be a good
I think
time.
maybe we should try to bypass engaging with them
Yeah,
if
right.
that at all
But
possible.
but here's the thing, they don't seem to be noticing you. They're all staring at these kind of, they were computers, but now they have this kind of weird misty aspect to them, almost translucent. You're not really sure what's going on.
Are there any exits?
There is. There's a set of glass doors, and you look over there, and this gentleman walks through. He's dressed very nicely, salt and pepper beard and mustache, and he walks up to, and he says, Terrence stands up and says, "Can I help you?" And he says, "No, my young man. I believe I can help you."
Do I recognize
Yeah,
this?
it's Sidney St. Clair. He's wearing kind of this tweed vest, a nice jacket, and he walks up to Terrence and he says, "I believe I have the means to help you get out of this mundane life." And Terrence looks at him and he says, "What do you mean mundane? I'm making good money." And so the elderly gentleman looks at him and says, "Yes, but is money really everything? Or is power so much more important?" And kind of Terrence looks at him and says, "What? Power? What are you talking about?" And he says, "My boy, I have such sights to show you, things you have never seen before. All you need to do is let me train you in the mystical arts." And Terrence says, "Mystical arts?" And so Sidney goes, and a flower appears in his hand. It's a red rose. And he says, "You could have this kind of power, or you could have this kind of power." And he pulls his hands apart, and you notice that flames jump from every single finger and then kind of jump back and forth. He says, "You have the potential, young man. Come with me." And so Terrence looks at him and says, "Look, I'm intrigued, I'm interested, but I've got to make sure that these funds and stock market is handled." And Sidney says, "There's no hurry. Come see me after work today. Here's my card." Hands him a card, and then everything disappears. And you're standing in this round tower with a set of double doors across from you that are closed.
I really wanted to yell out and say, "I'll take some of that power."
I'll take some of that power. Yeah.
Before we go to the next doors, I'm wondering if we saw Terrence and his family, and then I wonder if I didn't think it was Terrence, but maybe we're following Terrence. Terrence is trying to tell us from the Nevernever what happened to him.
We seem to be playing through some sort of memories, and as long as we don't disrupt it,
Things are fine.
Could be.
right.
I'm getting Fallout 4 vibes. Like
I
when you
am,
go through the neural waves of...
A little tired of forgetting who I am. Is there
Oh.
anything I can do to stop that? Like, hold on.
Why don't you do a discipline block?
Okay.
Okay.
I'll do one of those too.
Okay,
I-
I'll let you do that. You're mentally fortifying yourself. I am Volt. I am Volt Kruger. I am the son of blah 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 blah. And so you're reminding yourselves of who you are. Anybody else who would like to try and maybe block before they go through to the next area? I'll let you make a discipline roll. Okay.
Can I modify that with might?
5.
No.
Will that work?
Okay.
Oh, we do it now?
We'll see.
Ooh, 4.
7.
Okay.
Since we didn't actually have to walk through any doors
See
that
it.
last scene,
Yeah.
just like to think like any
Disappear.
cubicle is like I don't belong here. Look up, everyone's all
It's a
shadowy and
one.
stuff. Like I'm just gonna stay here. The thing goes away, and you just like fall because the chair's not there anymore.
You fall down, yeah.
I'm going to continue managing hedge funds.
I don't know what these
So-
numbers mean, but
There's a trading spaces joke in there somewhere, so I just haven't been able to find it yet.
All right. So, open the doors?
No.
No.
Before we go in, I'm going to tell them that gentleman there, the Sydney St. Clair, he sent me a note saying he was sorry. No? Oh, that was other
His
Claire.
sister, who is in charge of the Debonnaise.
Okay.
Sydney St. Clair is the one who trained you in magic. He's your
Oh,
mentor.
that's right. That's right. That's right.
Bum, bum.
so what were you about to tell us about him?
So I'm going to say, that's my mentor. And he didn't tell me he was training Terrence. And his sister, that man's sister, is the one who told me she was sorry about my friend. Now I'm becoming irritated.
So are you opening the doors?
Of course we're opening
Yes.
the doors.
Again, that inky blackness that you can't see through. Stepping through?
Yeah.
I go first.
Okay, you go first. Kylan, you step through and you are chained down in the middle of a thaumaturgic circle. You're wearing a gauzy white dress. You're blonde.
I didn't go first.
You're blonde, looking quite attractive, very fetching in this white dress. The rest of you step through, and you notice that Terrence
But she
and
has very hairy legs.
yeah, right. Terrence is standing on the outside of the circle, and he's
Scaly legs.
chanting maybe in Latin. You're not real sure. Latin's a little
I'm
rusty.
sorry, who is Terrence's?
Terrence is. The thing you notice about Terrence is that there's a hole in his chest, and pouring out of this hole is this inky darkness that's full of stars, and it's wrapping itself around him. It's swirling behind his back. But it's Terrence. He's wearing a gray robe, but again, there's a hole in his chest where this inky blackness just swirls around him, swirls around his arms, and all this other stuff. And you're just like, what the heck is going on here? You come to in the middle of... Now, what did you get for your discipline roll?
I got a +1, so a 2 total.
Yeah, you're still a blonde in the
Yeah,
middle of a
I
circle,
figured.
chained to the ground. Sorry. You got a 4. You're yourself. You are?
I had a 7.
Oh, you're good.
I have 5.
Okay, you're good. Okay, you step
magic
through
room.
and you are the minion. No, I'm kidding. Actually, you're not controlled by anything. You know exactly who you are. The only person who's being controlled is Volt.
Cool.
The first person through gets to be the sacrifice. So, yeah. All right. So you all step through, and Terrence turns towards you, and you can see that Terrence's eyes are solid black. If you've ever watched Supernatural, when the demons manifest and they have the solid black eyes,
Demon eyes.
this is what you see. But other than that, it's Terrence in a gray robe. And he turns towards you and says, "You have invaded my lair. Prepare to die." So, alertness. Make sure you know what your alertness is. Okay.
Somebody save me!
You in Smallville.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
we rolled
anybody have
mine's
a anybody have an alertness
-2.
of +3 or higher?
Ooh, no.
I know, I was role playing.
Oh, you don't roll to add to your alertness. It's
Yeah,
just
no, I
like-
was saying D20.
He's going to attack you, Jody.
Yeah.
He's using discipline. So, wow.
No, he's
That's not so good.
So I
He
roll.
gets a +3, so you need to roll to defend.
I'm going to roll to defend, and I will. So
What's your discipline?
Can I defend with a counter spell?
To do what? No, you have to just defend against his attack. -1. Okay, what's your-
Four.
Okay, He only got a +3. So he slings his arm at you, and this weird, starry black energy hits the wall behind you and leaves a smoking crater. And then he slings like this, and you again nimbly roll out of the way, and it hits the wall, and it leaves this crack in the wall. So he's slinging these long, misty, black, smoky, star-filled arms that are, super long at you. You're not sure what's going on, really. That brings us +3, +2. That's you guys, right? What are you going to do? Help! Help! There's a blonde in the middle of the circle.
Okay, so
she's kind of
I'm trying to
counterspell.
Counterspell.
Yeah, you don't see Volt, but you do see a blonde in a gauzy dress.
so 5.
All right, you're no longer a blonde in a gauzy dress. Sweet. You sit up. The golden chains that are on you are not there.
Wait, golden chains?
Yeah, they're gone. Yeah, gold. What do you want to do?
First off, thanks. I do an air fist bump.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
So in the room we've got Terrence, Blackie,
Nope.
Ignis stars coming out of his chest.
Yeah, just Terrence.
Is it just him?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna do what I do, and I'm gonna run in there and attack him.
Okay.
I think I might grapple again.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and pin him into the wall.
Okay.
Same old, same old.
What'd you get?
So a 5.
Okay. He's going to defend. Wow, not very well. He's going to get a 2. So you definitely grabbed him. You tagged him with restraint. You succeeded with style, so you can pass that restraint tag to someone else if you would like.
This time I will definitely do it to
Yeah. Okay.
Della.
Yeah. So he's being. You can tag that for free to get a +2. So we're at +1s. That's you and Della.
You go first.
Okay.
You gonna shoot him?
Alakablam!
Oh god.
Right.
I think of that comedian.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Gus.
Yeah.
Yep.
So guns, right?
Yes, guns.
Oh, -1.
So that would be a 1 total.
You do hit him. What's your weapons thingy?
The weapon strength is 4.
Ow. So you get a 5. Well, actually, I'm sorry. I do need to roll for his defense.
Yeah,
+0. Okay. Well, that doesn't matter. So you do 5 damage to him.
I almost prefer that though. I've been rolling a lot of minuses.
Okay.
Getting up nil on every single die roll.
Yeah.
All right. So you do hurt him. You notice that he's starting to leak this starry black liquid, and it's kind of. It actually congeals onto the floor as kind of this oily liquid and kind of rolls towards the edges. That brings us to you.
So what am I rolling for? I'm going to.
Are you going to
ice
attack
blast.
Terrence?
Yes.
Are you going to ice? Are you going to hit him with your sword? Are you going to ice shard him?
Now you give me too many options. Okay, I'm gonna try with my sword. Let's
Okay.
try the sword.
Are you going to use the weapon 6 ability that you can tag 3 times?
Yes.
Okay, so make a weapons check.
Nice.
Okay.
So 2,
Weapons? What's your weapon skill?
3.
And you got a -1.
So it's a 2.
Oh, you missed.
Should've
Does
said
the
what am I
weapon
doing?
6
No,
add to
this is
that at all?
damage. This is damage.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
This is stress damage.
Yeah, so you just missed.
Well, boo.
Didn't hit. Did she use the
Oh wait, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
the
Plus
tag-
0. No, you did hit him. I'm sorry. You hit him with a +2. So your weapon is 6. I forgot he was restrained.
Restrained.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, and you got to
Oh,
tag that
good.
aspect anyway. So
Oh,
if
so
you want
I
to,
actually
Yeah, you did
did
your +2
2.
one.
Yeah.
So I did. Well, so it
4
was a 2, so it's a
before.
4.
Yeah. So
And he's
4. You're doing a strength 10 strike on him. Okay.
Well.
Okay.
Because I got
let's
a 4
see.
plus 6.
Wow, I don't think he can take that. All right, so you step up to him, you take your sword, and it begins to glow and make this weird ringing noise, and you stab it through him. The inky blackness he lets out a shriek of pain, and the inky blackness just kind of rolls off into the floor, and lying underneath your sword, it's Terrence. All the blackness is gone and everything like that. And he looks up at you and he says, "Thank you." He says, "The magic that Sydney taught me, it twisted me, corrupted my soul. That's why I started working in the soup kitchens. I was trying to find the goodness that I'd had once before, but it was gone. And that's why I hired Volt to kill me.
Protect him, that's what he said.
He says, I knew that nothing could save me from the darkness that was in me. So when your sister contacted me about...
I'm sorry, I'm just imagining Bolt like backing up.
He says, when your sister contacted me to wonder if I was trying to get into the organized crime business, I told her no. All I was an analyst. But she gave me a phone number of a man who could help me with my problem. And I hired him to eliminate a problem. And he did.
Yeah, you hired me to protect his soul, and I carried it out.
He says, that's what it was.
Yeah, that's it.
Did you not just witness his masterful bodyguard technique as he pins him to the floor to protect him from oncoming damage?
Yeah. And he looks at you and he says, Sydney taught me the spell that would allow me to remove my heart so that I would never die. And so that's why when Volt killed me, I came back. He says, but here. And he reaches into his chest and he pulls out this heart that's all dried and atrophied and stuff like that. And there's kind of this black smoke around it. And he says, and he hands it to you and he says, you've always had this anyway.
Oh.
Okay.
I boo-hoo.
At which point he just kind of and blows apart into smoke. Okay. And you're holding his heart. What are you gonna do?
Look for a box.
Well, if his heart isn't destroyed,
Yeah, go destroy that thing.
he's gonna come back.
Let me finish the job.
Sure. Since now I trust him because he was hired.
I put her on the ground and lightning.
The heart
You're
bursts
so
into
lucky.
flames. The heart bursts into flames and then burns down to ash. And all of a sudden, you feel this shaking sensation, and the tower disappears. And you're standing on the beach next to this huge cliff. And there's no tower or anything. You can see the rift to the real world is kind of slowly closing. You're not even sure how long this took. It seems like, because normal rifts to the Nevernever, will stay open for a few minutes and then they close. This one still looks like it's closed a little bit, but maybe 30 seconds, maybe less. And you're kind of like, wow, time is weird here. What do you want to do?
Well, I've had enough fun. And,
Armors.
I use my wings and just jet to the thing.
Yeah, no, I'm like, let's bamf out. Can't I just pop us out?
Well, no, you just step through. That's all you have to
Oh,
do.
okay.
Yeah.
Right, just step through.
So you step through the rift, and you can probably wave your hand and close it completely if you like. You're standing in the loft apartment that Volt has in the
Change
warehouse.
back.
To a human, right?
Don't want anybody seeing me through some cracked
And
window.
before they say anything, I'm just going to look at all of them and say, thank you very much for
Are you all right?
helping me with my friend Terrence.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be, not yet, but I will be.
All right.
First,
So
I got to find Miss Clara.
I might have some weird dreams, but
right.
I think I'll be all right. Give us some time. I'll be fine.
You might want to go to a hospital.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No. He gave you a cool potion. Your arm's fine, man. You're
starting
good.
to heal up already. I'm
Oh.
okay.
All right.
Good.
Yeah.
Anybody
I'm
want a
just
beer?
Yeah, right.
Good
I
way
go
to
over to
get
the fridge
chips.
and grab some
Yeah,
beer.
No, you're
Next
musician, but
star.
you're a
I got
dirt
star.
musician.
No? No beers?
Nope.
So what you have just completed is called a minor milestone. Okay.
She's an addict. She's been sober for years.
No. We're actually, one significant piece of a story was
Should have
resolved.
told him that. Should have been an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
You may switch the rank values of any two skills or replace one average skill with one that isn't on your sheet. So if you found a skill that you had at average, which I think is +1, you can swap it out with something else. So if you found like, my rapport skill isn't so good, I think I'd rather have presence, you can do that. You can change any single stunt for another stunt. So if you took any stunts, you can do that. You can purchase stunts or powers provided you have the refresh to do so. You may also rename one aspect. And I think, Jody, this would be an appropriate time to rename one of your aspects, not your high aspect, of course, that has to do with Terrence. And now that you found out that you probably rename it to Terrence always had my heart, or I always had Terrence's heart, or something like that. I don't know. I'll let you figure it out.
We're all doing this, or just
Everybody, yes.
okay? And it's one of those things. It's either replace.
You may choose one. Yes.
So we.
Yeah.
Okay, I am going to get rid of discipline and get alertness.
Oh, that's not a bad one to have. Yeah, especially with a sword. Yeah.
So I might be get some endurance.
Endurance. Well, you can't buy any new stuff yet. That's when we finish a couple.
What did you say in the beginning? We get 3 what?
You can switch the rank values of any 2 skills, or replace one average skill with one that isn't on your sheet.
Okay.
So you go +1 skill, you can replace it with something you don't have, or you can swap the ranks. So if you had like +1 weapons and you're not planning to do weapons, you could swap it with something else or something like that.
But I could also bring might down to +4 and fist up to +5.
You could, yes.
I feel like that's good.
You could change any single stunt for another if any of you have stunts. I don't think anybody took any stunts, honestly.
I was so tapped for stuff.
You could purchase stunts or powers provided you have the refresh to do so.
I think I might end up doing that.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
And you can rename one aspect if you want. Oh, there's or. So it's or. Yeah. One of
I was
those
gonna do
things.
it.
Yeah. When you get to a significant milestone, you can add one additional skill rank. One of the benefits of a minor milestone, or one of the you get all of the following. One additional skill rank, one of the benefits of a minor milestone, and spellcasters may reconfigure their focus and enchanted items or slots. So that's when we hit a significant milestone. We'll have, maybe after we finish the next thing, when you guys deal with the devil man. Today on the Dresden Download, we're going to be talking about the year 2010 in the Dresden verse. Well, in the mundane world, several things have happened. 2010 was 5 years after Katrina, and like I said, that's going to figure prominently into our game in New Orleans. But also a few other things have happened. Instagram has just been launched, to give you an idea of how long ago that was. Also, in about a month in the year 2010, the first episode of The Walking Dead will premiere on television. Now, in the Dresden verse, our game takes place right after the book Turncoat. And I'm going to warn you now, spoilers are coming if you haven't read that book. So turn away, turn the video off, don't watch anymore. But if you've read the book Turncoat, a quick refresher, if you remember, that's when the council is training wardens because they're in a big battle with the Red Court vampires. And the council's also been infiltrated by Peabody, who is a member of the Black Council. And he influences everybody on the senior council and several of the younger wardens to follow his commands or suggestions by using a special magical ink. Anyway, things begin to unravel. Warden Morgan is accused of a crime, and at his trial, everything comes to a head with Peabody finally being discovered. Harry chases Peabody, isn't able to catch him, but Morgan does. Morgan kills him, but not before receiving a mortal wound and eventually dying, which is kind of sad because Morgan has been with us since the beginning of the books. And Ebenezer McCoy decides he's going to drum up support for something he calls the Grey Council to help combat the Black Council and their influence in the magical world. Also, sadly, Captain Luciano and Harry end their relationship because Captain Luciano realizes that the reason she liked Harry was because she was under the influence of magic. So that's what's going on in the Dresden verse in our game. How that's going to impact our game later on? Well, the next Dresden Files book to come out is Changes. And if you have read that one, you know that there's a lot of changes to come. A lot of them could affect our players as well.